All right, guys, welcome back to the Tiralosi Twins podcast. Yep, and today we have Peyton Hardin. He tells stories on TikTok from his podcast, the You Know It podcast. Is that right?
You
Did I
should
say
know
that right?
podcast.
You should know. Okay,
We went over this, Cody.
I know, short-term memory. But yeah, he's all over our For You page. We know that, so he's probably all over yours. Yeah, so I mean, just how did you get started and everything?
That's actually crazy that y'all said I'm all over your For You page. It's weird to think that people actually watch my stuff. And I just kind of recorded and put it out. But I've always been into content creation. I played college basketball. I played basketball my whole life. And then when I was in college, I was doing it. And then I just kind of hit a ceiling. I was like, there's not much left I think I can do here. And let me just try to fulfill this, hunger for content creating. And I just kind of went head first and just started learning about the business of podcasting and content creating. And I went from there, and now I'm here, and it's been, going pretty well so far.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, so you started, was it when you were still playing basketball or that you kind of started making content?
So I've always been making content. Not a lot of people know this, actually. In 6th grade, I had a YouTube channel, and once my middle school peers found out about it, I got clowned. It was bad.
Yeah, social media early on.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing. YouTube wasn't popular. There was probably at the time 5 big creators on YouTube, and I was in love with it. I was like, this is so cool. And
right.
I created a YouTube channel. I would go to the mall and make shirts with my face on it and wear it to school. Kids roasted me. I couldn't walk down the hallway without getting made fun of. But after that, I stopped for a while, and then I stopped until college. And then my last year playing college basketball, towards the end of the season, I was like, okay, I know I'm done after this. I'm going into content creating. I didn't film anything or actually do anything with posting videos or making videos, but I just really took the time to learn the business and a strategy to how I'm gonna find my way inside the business.
Yeah, that's really good that you started making your own merch that early. No one thinks about that until
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you were kind of you understood the value of branding and all that early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to a fault, I guess. It was
Yeah.
why are you wearing that? No one, why are your face on your chest right now? But whatever, it worked out.
Yeah, that's funny. That's kind of how it was for us too. Well, actually more recently, when we when people started finding out our TikTok page, it was early on. It was right when TikTok switched to TikTok, I guess, when people started seeing our page, and we got roasted, of course. So
yeah, we got roasted.
Yeah.
I feel of course we were saying oh, it's the next Vine and all that, and
no one believed it.
Yeah, everyone was there's younger people on there. That's not.
That's definitely how I view TikTok. I was because people were telling me to start doing TikTok. I was the videos I've seen, I'm not making those kind of videos. I'm not getting in front of a ring light with my shirt off, dancing the songs. I can't do it. But I learned it's actually a really dope app.
Yeah. That's always the first question. It's oh, so do you do dances on there? That's always the
yeah. People that people see what Charlie and all of them doing dances, and they think most creators are doing that, but we started out with skits, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of skits, kind of not.
Because we're what's the least cringiest way to start out? Because you kind of feel awkward at first doing it, so it's I don't want to look awkward and stuff. So what's the way we do it? And then we figured comedy would be kind of an easy way to get into it.
Yeah.
Were y'all on Vine? Did y'all do anything on Vine?
No, so that's another reason why we wanted to do this, TikTok, is because we actually missed out on Vine. I don't know where I was, under a rock somewhere living, but I only heard of Vine a couple times from people showing me videos on their phones, and I never even thought to become a creator or anything. So that's kind of, we saw this next opportunity, and even if it was whatever audience it was at the beginning, we were trying to take that opportunity.
Yeah. What about you? Did you get on Vine?
No, I honestly I feel the same way. I don't remember Vine being that important in my life. I don't remember ever clicking on the app or looking through stuff. I remember seeing videos, but I don't know how I saw them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I had that.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that, because that's a good point, because even Instagram didn't really have, I mean, I don't even think they had Vine videos on them, so I don't know where we would see them.
Exactly.
Because I deleted the app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had it for a
good
little
times.
bit. I don't know. Yeah, good
Yeah.
times though. But how did, I guess, like, were you, like, with your podcast and everything, did you start the podcast and then start making videos on TikTok, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I started off doing, like, I've always been interested in journalism and like interviews and stuff like that. Even whenever I was playing basketball, I was like, oh, I'm excited for this post game interview. Like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I've always just like enjoyed that stuff. And so whenever I started my podcast, it started as a guest based podcast. So I'd bring in different athletes or different celebrities or content creators, and I would just spend the whole episode talking about them. And that was also kind of a thing. Like, I don't think anybody's real interested in what I have going on. And then it got to like a standstill where I was like, okay, I've utilized every connection and resource I've had, and I am not able to put out videos because I can't find anybody to interview. I can't talk to people. And so
Right.
then I found TikTok, and I was like, maybe this is like how I figure out a way for people to be interested in, you know, what I got going on. And I put out some stories embarrassing myself and like telling my deepest, darkest secrets, and it's been doing well. So now it's opened the door for, you know, myself to be a brand, like, where I can be the forefront of these videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you know, kind of had that point of view too, is like, because everyone wants to start it for themselves, you know, and they want to be kind of the show of everything, and
Yeah.
think they're more interesting, you know.
And that's interesting too that you say that, because we kind of started our podcast this way, like guest centered, because we kind of wanted it the opposite way too. You know, we wanted to kind of network through the podcast as well. So,
Right.
you know, I think they do go hand in hand. You know, you kind of have to have like both forms if you want to succeed in that way.
Yeah, I think it's important that I tell a lot of people, especially now that they ask me, like, how do I get started in a podcast? I want to do guest-based podcasts. And I say the first thing is make people click on the video because of you, and then make it better by who you have on. Don't, like, you get yourself stuck if they're only clicking on your video to see who you're talking to, and they don't really care, you know, what you have going on. So make yourself just as important as the guest you have on. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really good advice, because we're kind of just starting this out for guest centered. We had our own thing, but it seemed like it got a little complacent. And I feel like always having guests on, you're always having to evolve and change. And I think that part's really exciting about podcasting.
yeah, I love this space. It's honestly so fun. Like, I'm like, this right here is like, I could do this all day long. Like, I just love talking. It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were saying we can't wait to like have our own like studio and in person, because I don't know, it's more fun. I feel like it's more fun in person, and then you could just like kick it. You could have a mini cooler next to you, and you know, just all that stuff.
It's dangerous too, because whenever I was doing podcast, I was like, how am I going to hit this hour mark? Like, how am I going to like get this video to be so long? And then whenever you're like in person, like you get just lost in the conversation. You forget like there's cameras, you forget there's microphones. Or like it's the best feeling ever. Like, I love doing this.
Yeah, no,
Right.
it really is a lot of fun to just get to know someone over like a podcast, because stuff comes out that you like normally wouldn't really talk about, I guess, in person.
Right. Yeah, it forces you to talk, because, you know, in a normal conversation you can like find ways to exit. Especially me, like, I'm awkward as hell. Like, if there's like any like small blip of like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I'll finish a conversation. But if you're on a podcast, you have to finish it. There's cameras, there's, you know, you have a job to do, so it kind of forces you to prolong the conversation longer than you would have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Do you do most of your, I guess, where do you put most of your content at? Like YouTube? Is it like YouTube for the videos? And
And now is like TikTok. I've just been like posting through, I don't even know, 3 times a week. So I'm just on TikTok. That's my main thing right now. But with that, it's opened the door to post more YouTube videos. So I'm talking to different companies, different brands to like really hit YouTube hard, because like obviously TikTok's my biggest thing right now.
Right.
But the transition on TikTok is crazy. Like, the rollover to your Instagram to your YouTube is crazy. So now more people are wanting me to post YouTube videos, and so I'm about to hit that hard like next month. So yeah, YouTube is gonna be great, and that's exciting because like long form, more edited, like more, it's like special, you know. Like I feel like it's like a gift I'm giving to the world. And TikTok's like, let me tell you about how I flooded a bathroom. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think creators are a little different and like getting people on different platforms, but I feel like your content for some reason, I guess because it's just pure like you know, I like a lot of people just want to follow that like in any way they can.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I don't even understand. Like I'll read the comments, and I have a bad problem. Like I read every comment, which is terrible. But
it can get to
yeah, it's crazy. But like, it's so weird. People like, oh, this is so interesting. This is so cool. Like your life seems so cool, and I'm like, I think I'm the most boring person to ever walk this earth. But thank you for saying that. Like it's crazy that people are invested in what I got going on.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, clearly you've had some experiences that other people haven't, you know. I mean, you know, there's always some form of a crazy coach, but, you know, is he camping out waiting for some dude that might not exist? I don't know.
I have to say, I was like, it's, you know, this interview to prepare for was a lot of fun just because I was like cracking up watching your videos. Like,
thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Yeah. I didn't even realize how crazy some of the experiences I've been through like are until I put them out and people are like, that's not regular. And then I'm like, yeah, looking back, like this is not normal. I shouldn't have experienced that. But yeah, especially with those coach stories, first one I filmed, I had to take out probably like 3 or 4 things. I was like, I don't know if I should put that on the internet. Like it is insane the stuff I had to go through with him. But yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Like, was he, when you were going, so I guess you kind of touched on that. Like, when you were going through it, was it that, like, it didn't seem that crazy, right? Until after the fact.
It's like, when it was happening, it was because you're with him every day, all day. So it's just kind of like you get accustomed to it, but it's still like, in the moment, you're like, I know this isn't normal. Like, I know, but it just it becomes your normal. And then, like, years after, you're reflecting and you meet up with old teammates and you share stories and you're like, what the hell was going on? Like, you know, what is happening? But yeah, great times.
That is true. Cause like some of these stories, I'm like, cause there is some narration, I guess, that goes through your head, but like, is it like when you're in the moment, like flooding the bathroom or something like that, are you like thinking like, this could be funny, or are you trying to think about how you're going to get out of the situation?
Oh, pure panic. That's all that's going on in my mind. I'm freaking out because, like, genuinely, I was like, I'm a very anxious person. Like, I freak out easily. Like, I overthink things. So, like, whenever there's a puddle or a pond inside of a bathroom, and it's a new house, I don't really know the owner of the house, so I was just like, I need to fix this before I go to prison. Like I don't know what's going on.
You go like worst case scenario.
Oh, for sure.
That's hilarious. And so for basketball, what school did you end up, I guess, playing at?
So I went to I out of high school, I decided to go JUCO. Y'all know what that is. It's like a
yeah.
So I went to a JUCO in Oklahoma, and I was really apprehensive about that because on my signing day I got a D1 offer, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do that. But then my coach was like, no, just go JUCO. You'll have better options out of there. And so I went JUCO, and I was and it was in Oklahoma, like not just Oklahoma, like the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma, like the forest. Like there was one Walmart and a gas station. Like that's all we had. And so I was like, this is going to be the worst experience of my life. But I met like literally my best friends in the world there, and like people like my roommate, he has a wedding in May. I'm like one of the groomsmen. Is that what we call them?
I think so. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm one of those. Yeah. So it's just like, so I went to that school in Oklahoma, best time, craziest time of my life. Then I went to a different JUCO in Corpus Christi, Texas. And then after that, I had about, I don't even remember now, like maybe 6 different offers to like bigger schools. And I was just like, nope, done. You're going to talk into a microphone now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is the truth though. It's like at some point you kind of have to cut it off because, I mean, unless you're have a super long career in the NBA, you know, you're gonna have to be the one to be like, all right, you know, I'm gonna need to switch paths, right?
exactly. I was like, I know I'm not going to the NBA. I know I could go overseas and make a little money, but I'm
Yeah.
also going to be in a different country. I already panic as it is. I don't need to like have that kind of culture shock. And
Right.
I've been doing this since I was like 4 years old. I'm tired of it. You know, like my passion isn't there anymore. And so let me transition that passion from basketball to, you know, content creating.
Yeah. And did you I guess you at that point you were pretty ready to drop it and go to the next thing, but I guess what do you enjoy more? Like podcasting, basketball? It's hard to compare, but
That's a good question. I think it's a different kind of passion. In basketball, I always felt like I was chasing something. Like I always felt like I could. There's this goal. I need to like. I was never satisfied, and I just wasn't. I don't think I was truly enjoying being there. I was enjoying chasing something, and now in this, like I'm genuinely like I'm so happy doing this small, like plugging up my microphone, doing the smallest, most like minute things. It makes me so happy. Like the stress of like I don't have a video idea to then okay, let's try this video. Oh, it's working. Let me edit it. And then putting it out and seeing a reaction, like that is probably the best feeling I've ever had. So I definitely think I'm genuinely enjoying this more. I loved basketball, but it was never like a real, like, I'm happy doing this. I'm happy.
Right.
It was just like, I'm trying to chase something, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I know
right.
what you're saying.
Yeah, like, yeah, because even like, you know, there's nothing like playing the sports that we like really grew up in, like loved, enjoyed, and everything. But I mean, I think creating and having like a creative process is totally different as far as, you know, enjoyment and
Yeah,
like happiness goes.
It feels more like it's yours, I guess, to kind of add to your point.
Yeah, it's like I don't have to rely on anybody. I don't have to like worry about if somebody else is doing their job or like this person's blocking me from doing something or like this coach isn't seeing something in me or like, you know what I'm saying? It's like 100% the work I put in is what I will most of the time get out of it.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because I've always grown up playing team sports, so I kind of always had to rely on other people. Did you mostly play team sports too?
Oh yeah. I tried to play tennis once because my brother did it, and I literally was like, this might be the worst decision I've ever made. That lasted about 4 hours, never did it again. But yeah, I was always football, basketball my whole life.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I think growing up playing team sports is definitely more fun.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
It brings like a different, you create some of your best friends through sports, and you learn so many like valuable life skills through that. And
Right. I feel. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. No.
But I was just gonna say, I feel like everyone kind of has to play team sports. I mean, that's why everyone like gets thrown into soccer or whatever when they're young, is because I mean it teaches you how to interact with people and like have that kind of skills, really.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely agree. It's very important. And even if you don't like it, even if it's not for you, I think just trying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree too. There's so many life lessons in team sports. I feel like that it kind of mirrors life a little bit more than playing an individual sport, I guess.
Right. Yeah, and that's so deep for me. Like I am not smart enough to like put it into words, but yep, that sounds right.
That's funny. There was something that you mentioned that I'm trying to remember that I wanted to ask you about. There he goes.
Yeah, there's that. But as I guess as I don't know what's going on here. As far as you know, as far as like the podcast goes or your social media goes, is there like a routine or like a regimen that you have or a certain amount of times you post in a day, or like how do you kind of go about that? Because you grew your TikTok pretty quick.
Yeah. It's just like I know that there's certain like algorithm tricks, like there's like, oh, you do this, that, and the other, and all that, but I never really followed it. Like now that like I have an audience and like people like are ready for me to post, I do every other day at 9 a.m. I don't think there's a specific like thing with that. I think it just kind of like holds me to a schedule. But that, as far as like, you know, having a regimen, that's as far as it goes. I just kind of through the day, like I'm always thinking of ideas and content. If you looked at my notes app right now and looked at like I have 8 different journals over there, you would think I'm a serial killer. Like it's
it's all laid out on the wall with like string or something.
Yeah. You think I'm joking? It's bad.
That's actually really funny. Yeah, actually, the stuff that I write down in my notes that just like it doesn't make the process is you would probably judge me pretty hard.
Exactly.
But I do remember what I wanted to ask. It was when you're making, because it seems like you enjoy the process a lot. Do you get more satisfaction through the process or after it posts and everyone like engages on your stuff?
Oh, dang. I think I struggle with, you know, knowing that myself. I genuinely, it's definitely the process. Because when an idea happens and I'm like, oh, like this could be something. And then I turn the camera on and I film it. And then while I'm filming it, I'll know like if it's going to work or not. And once I feel it's working, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like this is going to be great. And then when I put it out, it's really just like a little small panic attack. I'm like, God, I hope they like it. And then
that's funny because I enjoy like I feel like some of the videos that we make, some of our best videos in my opinion aren't the ones that got the most likes or views or whatever.
Yeah, like we'll even repost them from time because like we think they're a lot better than they are, which they actually do end up doing better after the fact. So you know, who knows if it's some.
I agree with that, but I think it's like whenever I have a video that I think is an absolute banger and it doesn't really do whatever it does, I'm like, okay, the people that are engaging with this, like maybe like the 50, 60 comments I get and like the likes, I'll be like, okay, this is like these people here that are enjoying this and commenting. That's my like core group. Like these people are going to rock with me through whatever. And then just let the big videos be the big videos. But like, I'm grateful for the 30 people that like this one.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
a good point.
How do you like balance that as far as like doing stuff or talking about things that you think the mass will enjoy versus like what you really enjoy, you know, talking about and doing?
I don't know. I think it's that's such a good question, y'all. Because I've done a couple podcasts before. Y'all are asking me stuff that I'm not used. Y'all throwing smoke grenades at me right now. I don't know what's happening.
I'm sorry. We're asking pretty like deeper questions. I guess.
I don't know. I think everything I do, I feel like if I genuinely enjoy it, like if I'm watching this video and I laugh or I'm like, this is good, then I'm satisfied with it. You know, I don't really think about the general public. I obviously do whenever I'm posting it. If I post, I'm like, obviously I want it to be, you know, I want people to like it. But as long as I think it's good and like the 3 people, my friends that I send it to before I post think it's good, then whatever, it'll do what it does.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you have to be satisfied with your work before anyone else.
Right. I think it gets tricky if you're just putting stuff out for the reaction or for the reception, because then you get lots of like, do I actually like this or do they just like it? And then things could become unauthentic and just it can get real messed up after that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like a lot of people, I mean, you know, I guess everyone's sort of guilty to this to some extent, but following trends can do that to you. You know, you kind of lose, even if you are applying it to yourself, it's like, is this really what I want to post about and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I got caught in that early. I was doing the trend stuff and I was like, and then it becomes like weird. Like it's not fulfilling. It's just kind of like, I'm just 100%. And I just want to have fun. Like I don't like, this is great. It's great that you can make money or you can have a fan base, but like I genuinely just want to have fun. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome because I know like initially, well, you know, after kind of say our first video like kind of blew up, it's like I kind of had the mindset of also getting those, I guess, extrinsic rewards, as far as like likes and all that, and like popularity and everything. But really, it's like recently too is like I've kind of fallen in love with more of the process, and I feel like I've been a lot happier, and I think staying true to that too is like has more room for growth.
Yeah, and people don't understand, like, and being like a content creator, like obviously it's like a dream, like, right, like
Yeah.
it's way better than 99% of jobs you can do or whatever, but it does take a big mental toll on you because the external validation that you look for, the confidence that you may gain or lose so fast. It's just like,
Yeah.
so making sure like you're just staying happy in what you do is the most important thing in this job, but it can be a tough one.
Yeah, that's a good point too, is because there's no really like, especially for you, because it's so reflective of your experiences. It's always like, oh, this would be great content, or you never want to take a break from it because you're like, oh, this would be really good to share with everyone.
Right, exactly. That's a thing. That's another thing. Like, my content's so personal. I'm glad I was able to find out early that people's opinions of what I just put out about myself, it doesn't reflect its meaning to me. So like something could mean the world to me, and I put it out, and people are like, "That's stupid. No one cares." I'll be like, "Hey, it means a lot to me, so I'm keeping it up here, and y'all can feel how you feel about it." But yeah, just staying true to yourself and like in how you feel is the most important thing with this job.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And were you always a good storyteller, or was it something your teammates and stuff like knew you as, or is it something that you kind of like picked up and worked on?
I don't know. Like, I've always been actually in school terrible at math, terrible at science, history, all that terrible. Don't ask me any math questions. I might pass out. But like English and all that, like I would be able to write 2 to 3 essays in a day, like easy. Like it just came so natural to me, and I never, until now, I didn't realize that might be reflective of why I can tell stories so well. But I think the way that I, actually am able to vocalize things and like say it to a camera came from the people around me, because I think my friends are way funnier than me and like the funniest people in the world. And you whenever you're around somebody so much, you're able to like feed off of them, and it grows on you.
Yeah,
and you become reflective of them. So that, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but in one of my last videos, the Cam, my old roommate.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, he's probably the funniest guy I know, probably 100 times better storyteller than me. And so when I know he's laughing at certain things I'm saying, I'm like, okay, it's good. But I think a big part of my delivery came from him.
Yeah, that's
interesting. Yeah, because I guess when you're around someone for such a long time, you pick up their habits and stuff.
Oh, for sure. You pick up the way they laugh, all that.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, and I mean, like, I never thought of myself as like being funny at all. Like, I don't think I was funny before. Like, I met one of my other friends, and I was like around him, and he would tell jokes, and it gets you thinking like differently. Like, I don't know what it does, but you kind of like model after them.
Yeah, exactly. So y'all make skits, so like that's obviously a lane for funny people only. Y'all never knew you're like, I'm funny, like I'm the class clown. Like y'all didn't think that?
The funny thing is we're very quiet. Like we usually keep to ourselves. So even just posting on social media, like that's why I feel like that's why everyone made fun of us, is because it didn't seem like us at all.
Oh, okay.
It's like that,
but we always had it like in us. Like we would always joke like this funny humor that only we would like really share together, and we're like, oh, this is like really funny stuff. Like,
yeah, right. Because we would always like say it to each other, or we knew what we were thinking, I guess. But yeah, I know we never really like made it into an actual thing.
Yeah,
but to be fair, that we started after I knew the kid, so
that's funny. Yeah, I think everybody funny that I know is very introverted, like very quiet, and I don't know why that is. I think it's because they're observant and like you're
Yeah.
able to take in more things, like analyze situations and find and see things that certain people don't see. Maybe I'm thinking
Right.
too much, but that's what I think.
No, I completely agree with you because I feel like a lot of like introverts like that kind of internalize everything and are receptive to everything because they can't really express it, but they understand, I guess, more. I don't know. They
Yeah.
pay attention more.
Like observe, like they're not the first to like talk. They like to observe first.
Exactly. I think, and that's definitely me. Like in one of my videos, Cam said like we were at a little kickback party thing, and I was in the corner with my hood on, just not saying anything to anybody. But like I'm just not a talkative guy. Like I'm not, unless like a microphone's in front of me, I'm pretty much silent or just like laughing
Yeah.
in the background. Like and I think that's why I'm able to tell stories, because I'm just like thinking about everything. I'm like, oh, did you see that? Like that's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point because I remember taking those like personality tests, and it's like, oh, do you do this or do you like to observe the room before, you get comfortable and stuff like that? And I was always the person I would always check like observe the room because I don't know, I like to play it safe. I guess I don't know how to describe that.
I feel you definitely the same way.
But I did want to actually ask you about like one of your stories. You were talking about there was, I forget his name, but there was someone that you had on that is like pretty big on YouTube. That when you first met him, you didn't know. I don't want to take the story, but like you didn't know you knew him, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark Phillips from RDC World. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude, insane. It's so weird becoming like a fan, like being a fan of somebody and then becoming like a really close friend and near family is a surreal feeling. So yeah, that I don't know if y'all want me to retell this story or what.
Yeah,
If you want.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you could.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, Mark Phillips, he's a YouTuber, comedian. He's done stuff with like Kevin Hart, a bunch of stuff, but at his
wow.
core, he's a YouTuber. And he just posts skits. And I was obviously a fan. He's viral all the time. 3 million subscribers on YouTube, million followers on Twitter,
Jeez.
2 million on Instagram. And I was at the gym one day and I saw him and I was like, cool, I'm going to say hi. And I'm awkward, obviously. I don't like to talk. So I was just like,
Yeah.
like big fan of the videos, like keep doing your thing. And he's super nice. He was like, thanks man, what's your name, like all this. And I was like, I don't really want to talk, just kind of want to say hi. And then and then we ran into each other a couple more times at the gym, and I knew I had this podcast going, like starting up. I didn't have a video out yet, but I was like, this would be good if I get him. And so
Yeah.
I just kind of stalked him in the gym. Like I didn't work out once. I didn't put that in the video. I literally did not work out because I saw him when I walked in. I was like, I got to talk to him. So I just kind of followed him and like floated around. And I walked up to him. I was like, hey, starting this podcast. If you would like to join and like be on it, let's do it. And for some reason, I don't know why, he gave me his number. And I just kind of blew him up all the time, texting him like, hey, you want to do it? We can do this, that, and the other. And he didn't respond. I ended up doing a podcast with my childhood friend, Armani Brooks, who plays for the Houston Rockets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was my first guest. And then Mark Phillips randomly texted me one day. He was like, hey, we can do it. So we met at the studio, and then I don't know, I forgot how it got brought up because it was like 2 years ago, but I brought up Armani, and he was like, Armani's my nephew. His dad is my brother. And I was like, what are you saying to me right now? Like, Armani's dad is literally like, he's like a second father to me. Like, he's like, knows me since I was a little kid. And I was going to put a picture of me as like a little kid and like Armani's dad by each other, but I was like, I don't know if he wants to be out there like that. But
Yeah.
and after that, we just realized like we've been around each other our whole lives. Like, we've probably been at birthday parties together as kids, and we just never knew each other. Like, me and Mark just never knew who each other were, but we were around each other our whole lives. And since then, we've just become like really close friends. We spent New Year's together. They invite me over to their house. I've been in some of their videos. I've been in the Squid Games video.
Oh,
And,
that's sick.
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, even to this day, like, I'm comfortable with all of them now, and they're like family to me now, but it's still kind of like, what is going on? But
Yeah.
some of the most genuine people in the world.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Did
Was he on Vine early on? 'Cause he's
I don't-
looked really familiar.
He's been making videos for over 10 years, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
But yeah, I only found out about him through Twitter and stuff.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask, did you like figure that out when you were talking like on your podcast, or was that like, because if there's like a video of you guys talking about that on your podcast and you're like you're shocked and everything, I'm sure that'd be like a funny clip and everything.
Yeah, I wish we were. We were outside the studio. I had to leave this. I was renting out a studio in Austin, and I had to leave the studio to come out here and get him. It was kind of hard to find a way to get in. Like, he didn't know what door to go through, so I went outside. My camera person followed me, and my camera person was my friend at the time. They didn't really know how to do everything, so they were turning the camera on and off. And I was like, "Hey, just keep it rolling." But there's a part in there, like the very beginning of our conversation when I bring up Armani, that's in there. But then the camera person turned the camera off.
Oh, the most valuable one.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But you said you were in the Squid Games video? Was that the Mr. Beast video?
No, it was the RDC World one, and I think the title of it is "If Black People Were in Squid Games." It's like a basketball thing, and
I might have seen that. I might have seen that one.
yeah, and whenever we were filming it, they rented out like LA Fitness, so it's a nice gym, or Lifetime Fitness, one of those. A gym I can't afford. And I was in there, and we were shooting, and my job was to be an extra. And there's a siren happening. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah,
I hear it.
That's all right.
Like, what's going on out there? But it's like right here. I'm looking at lights right now, and I don't know if they're coming to get me or what's happening. All right,
They're
sorry.
seeing it all unfold right there.
Yeah, what's happening?
There's another story right there.
Exactly. Yeah, I get arrested during an interview.
Great content. Keep it rolling.
That would be insane. But no, we were. My job was to be an extra in the video. Like, I think he was just like throwing me a bone. Like, "Hey, Peyton, you want to be in this video?" Of course. That'd be awesome. Right. And so he was like, "All right, I want you to actually be in this scene wherever you dunk on this woman." I was like, "I can do that. My knees are the knees of an 80-year-old war vet, but I can still dunk." And so we were doing the first shot, and I go up to dunk it with two hands, and the backboard breaks. And I'm like, holy. Because this is, I can't afford this backboard, like, and that's all on camera. Yeah. It's on my TikTok too. But like, it was, the amount of panic that went through my body at that point, because like, this is one of the biggest YouTubers and like social media people, and they need this shot, and I just ruined it. Like, this is bad, and they're gonna have to pay for this. Like, that's thousands of dollars when they just, you know. But they got it taken care of. I think he said they didn't have to pay for it, and he still paid me for the video, which I was like, please don't pay me for this video. Like, I don't deserve it.
Yeah, it's like an honor just to be in it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, but great dudes. Definitely sorry. Mark, if you're watching this, apologize for that backboard. I haven't been in a video since then, so I think I ruined my shot.
But I'll tell you what, you're also one of the few people who actually like can say they broke a backboard or broke a, from dunking.
Was it like one of those backyard ones, or was it like a legit like?
No, it was like legit in like Lifetime Fitness, like beautiful court, like one like nice, pristine.
Oh my gosh!
And I've been playing basketball my whole life, never even got close to breaking a backboard, but I guess it was just I don't know, something in the stars that day. It was like, hey,
right, yeah.
You were like super hyped up, like in the video, so you're like, let's just do this.
Oh yeah, I definitely gave it a little extra because I was like, I know a lot of people are gonna watch this. Let me
yeah.
Did they didn't put that in the video? They did something else with that?
Yeah, we went to like the opposite end of the court, and like you can see in the video, like the backgrounds are all different and stuff, and they just made me re-dunk, and they're like, Peyton, dunk the ball soft. Just soft. So in the actual video, you could like we have a dunk, but it looks like a layup. Like, it's not anything powerful at all. It didn't hit like it was supposed to, and that's my
really? But the first one.
Yeah, first, oh my God, great. They sent me the footage. Thank God they sent me the footage of the backboard break so I could put it on my TikTok. I don't know why they let me have that, but
That's so funny though. Yeah, I feel like I would be so nervous if I felt like it was a big, stage like that, like someone big's platform, and I just like went up and like I feel like that's good for footage, but I don't know what they were trying to do. Like they were trying to make it probably wasn't good for what they wanted to do. But right. I would get so in my head about that. I'm like, oh no, like panic.
Oh no, yeah, I was freaking out. Like I kept it cool on the outside, but I was freaking out. And like that whole story is, even being in that video is weird because I was shooting somebody else's podcast. I was being interviewed on somebody's podcast, and they were asking me about like Mark Phillips, and I was like talking about him. And in the middle of me talking about Mark Phillips, he calls me, and that's all on camera too. He calls me and he's like, "Hey Peyton, you want to come be in this video?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." So that's one thing that happens. And I go to be in the video. I leave that podcast, drive to the gym, and then break a backboard. Like it was a insane day. I don't know why things happen to me, but
that's crazy. So are you constantly like filming background stuff and like just having like a camera follow you to kind of document it and stuff?
Yeah, whenever I'm like out at events and stuff, like I'm always asking people like, "Hey, would you mind coming and filming me?" And half the time I don't even use it. I just kind of like, I'm a safety net person, like,
yeah,
and it gets me in. It doesn't get me in trouble, but it makes me like, people are weird to be around me sometimes. Even like if I don't have like a professional camera following me, like I'm always just like recording stuff, and they're like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Well, something could happen. I don't know. Like, what if something happens here?" And it's kind of just like content. Like I just love making content, even if nothing happens. Like let's just film it. Let's see what happens. But,
right? Because we've wanted this for like years. Like just someone following us with a camera. We haven't really obviously put it into action, or we don't know what we'd want to do with that, but
just to have that footage would be cool.
Yeah, it's amazing what you will get out of it, because the most mundane things that you think like, oh, when you're editing it, like this is kind of cool. Like I can make this into like something. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, right. That's definitely a cool aspect, and like you never know when something cool is going to happen or interesting is going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
There
was I was recording a TikTok in my studio the other day, and like my TikTok's in the middle of downtown Dallas. So outside of my window, you can see like the busy streets of downtown. And I'm so mad that I didn't get this. I was recording and like doing a TikTok, like, and I stop it. And as soon as I hit the stop button, all I hear is, and there's like an 18 car pile up. No one got hurt, thank God. But I was just like, imagine if I was recording and you just heard all that. Like, no one got hurt. So I'm glad that no one got hurt.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. But
that probably would have blown up.
Yeah, that definitely would have blown up.
Yeah. That hurts.
But yeah, I mean, I'm always amazed by how some of these people capture those things. Like that, the most random thing in the world like happens.
Exactly.
It's like David Dobrik. Like he always has it rolling, so he gets so much more content. That 1% to where you're like, no, let's not film it for this time. He ends up getting that in there because he's always filming.
Yeah, I was watching an interview of him. He says like for each vlog he has like, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like 8 hours of footage, and he turns it into 4 minutes. Like that's insane to be like filming that long and to still kind of struggle to get 4 minutes. That just kind of shows you like some stuff just might not happen, but just you have to be filming because you never know.
That's insane too. Just thinking about like, I don't know, the creator in me like sees the editing part of it, and I'm like, that would be a nightmare to edit. That would take. Like, you have to be on your computer constantly editing for the whole week.
Yeah, that sounds like...
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I would pay someone to do that part.
I'm surprised he didn't. Yeah.
But I guess that's why he's a genius.
Yeah, I think it's, like, also creative control. Like, a lot of people like, don't... Like, if I'm hiring an editor, like, that's why I don't have one, because, like, I just, like... Why'd you take that, like, breath out? Like, that one little beat of a breath, like that would have added to that joke a little more. So I just like to have like control, and like, I don't know, I'm very like hands-on with everything.
I completely understand that too, because that's how I kind of was, but now my computer just is so slow I just give up on it, so he kind of edits a lot of it.
Well, I think for like stuff that's really important to me and stuff that I feel like has a lot more opportunity to be creative, I definitely want to be hands-on on that. Like that would never go away. I'd never hand that off. But for like little things like, oh, just chop this up in a clips or stuff like that, I see myself, I could hand that off. But you're right. They're right. There is some aspect to it to where you're like, I need this. I need to control this.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but like maybe it's like I feel sometimes like too controlling. Like I need this, like, hold on, like don't everybody just hold on. Like I need this moment. I need just to look at this, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I need this specific cut this way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no, I feel that though.
Yeah, that millimeter at I'm so like particular with my cut. Like in my TikToks, you can see like I cut things like super fast and like I zoom in, zoom out. Like I'm just very like, I don't know. I feel like it makes or breaks the video with like one cut, and that's definitely wrong. But like just my anxiety fueled brain, like I just need it to be so. I don't know.
No, I agree with that because like I can feel like I feel like especially if you do your cuts like this, I can feel when I'm editing stuff. Like if just a half second or like another beat of like pause or something like that just throws off the whole rhythm. Like I can feel it, while I'm editing it.
It's exactly right. I'm so glad I'm not alone. Thank God.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
That's interesting and especially to like your credit, I didn't realize like how long are like a lot of your videos on TikTok?
They're all 2 minutes. They're like 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Like they're pretty long.
Okay. Yeah. Cause what I noticed is I was like watching a video and it felt like 10 seconds. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I completely didn't notice it was 3 minutes. I saw the time. I'm like, there's no way. And I kind of like looked through a little bit and I was like, how? Like, I just watched 3 minutes. Like, I guess I just enjoyed it so much. The story is like hilarious,
Thank you. That means a
and
lot.
you're like, well, your personality more than anything, I think, gets you. I don't know. It feels like when you're watching your content that you're just like, it's one of your friends, like you guys are in the story together, which is like incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I feel like I knew you before.
Oh, guys. Man, that means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I never really even thought about attention span. Like I know 3 minutes on TikTok is a long ass time. Like it's hard to keep somebody on your video. But I just think that's why I think I do my cuts the way I do, and like certain like hand gestures, and like that's how I naturally talk and like do things.
Right.
But I know like, okay, if I zoom in on this part, like it'll make the video seem like shorter or something. I don't know, but that means a lot.
Yeah. I actually noticed that with like your gestures and stuff, because obviously there are different like I guess focal lengths or whatever, different zooms. But I mean I found that really engaging. Now that you say that,
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very much like cut, zoom here. I don't know. I think it makes the video more entertaining. I think it definitely makes jokes hit harder.
Yeah. Okay. Because you could focus it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a good point. I noticed too is like it's like you're talking to the camera. It's that's what it feels like. Feels like you're telling me individually a story. Did you always have that set up with the camera, or is it something you kind of learned along the way?
No, I never even thought about it. I just kind of had it there. But like, there's like certain times like I'll have people in the studio that they're not really content people. They don't want to be on camera, and I'm telling them this story. Like I'm just like, hey, like I'm telling them, and it's just like the camera's right here, and I'm telling them. Or sometimes they'll be somewhere behind the camera. Maybe there's a room with like 4 or 5 people, but I'm kind of just like talking to a room. And,
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when you film your videos, like you have like long videos, do you just kind of like go on about the story and then you just kind of cut it how you will, like how you would for the video, or?
This is a big secret. This is
don't reveal it if you don't want to tell it. We're not going to make you.
Well, I could
just give us the surface if you want.
Yeah,
Everyone listening that listens for this reason is probably like, no, like make him tell you. But no, tell us with whatever you want to tell us, because we understand that there's secrets that you just like to keep to yourself too.
Yeah, no, we completely understand that. So don't force anything.
No, as well, I'll say I do tell the story all the way through. I tell the story all the way through. There are certain times where after, like when I'm telling the story, I make a mental note of like, oh, I could have said that better. And then I'll like go back and be like, say maybe one phrase or one word different, just so it sounds better. But I'm telling the story all the way through.
Yeah, it's all about the delivery at that point.
Yeah, I just want to make it the most entertaining, because even this last video I posted, like I watched it one time after I uploaded because I'm so mad at myself for not reshooting a certain way I said something. But yeah, but it's all the way through. I just kind of want it to be like authentic, like your best friend's telling you a story about something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, I mean, and there's also outside factors too. Like if you're telling the story and then like a siren goes off or something like that interrupts your clip.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that's an important part of the story that I don't want them to focus on the siren. I want them to focus on like the story still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It always happens on the most crucial parts, like something blocking or something, a car drive by, whatever it is. It always seems to happen that way.
Yeah, something that happened recently. I filmed a whole video. I know I actually filmed 2 videos back to back, and I never do that because I like to have all my attention on one thing at a time. But I did 2 back to back, put it in the final cut, no audio. Nothing was there. I almost threw up. I was like, there's no way that this just happened. So I just took a day off, and I was like, I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain stuff that like after, like you just don't want to deal with at the time. Like I don't know if this is just me, but if I spend a ton of time, like too much time on a video, I'll just be like, I just want to upload it, never look at it again. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that ever again.
Right.
Is that something that you feel too, or do you just enjoy like editing and all that stuff so much?
Yeah, especially whenever like I was first starting out podcasts and I was doing like these 1.5 hour long things and I was like editing them, like I was like, I never want to hear my voice again. Like I just don't, I can't listen to this. But now in these certain with TikTok, especially with like the big videos that, blew up, and I'm just, every time I refresh, there's like comments on them like, I just never want to see this video again. Like I don't want to look at that, but that's pretty much it. But I'm so, it's just like a internal thing. Like I don't really mean it. Like if that video would be deleted, I'd cry myself to sleep. But
yeah, that's true. So podcast is like your main, is that your main focus right now? Or is there, are you thinking about YouTube and TikTok the same way? Or
yeah, right now it's just trying to see how far I can take this TikTok so it can, go off into other things. My next like big venture, like where I'm going to spend all my time, effort, money, is YouTube. I'm about to fly to different events, meet with different people, and just have a camera person with me and make vlog style things. And then really use TikTok to be a commercial for those videos. So I'm going to like still tell stories, and they're going to be entertaining and fun, but they're going to be about what I just posted. So it's going to lead people over there. Yeah. But I'll never force it. Like if it's like a boring video, like, I hopefully wouldn't put it out. But if it's like something like not an extravagant story, I won't do it. But if like I plan on going to Vegas, and my stories with Vegas, I'm going there next month to shoot something with somebody very popular. And so I think that we're going to get some good stories out of that. And that's really going to just like start rolling the ball on YouTube.
That's cool too. Yeah. What's funny is we kind of wanted to use this as a way to carry us to YouTube. I feel like once we get this going, we want this to make us enough profit to where we can get a cameraman to constantly help us vlog and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's sometimes I wish it was like 2016 still, and like YouTube like vlogs were still like this, like you could film yourself, but it's just like not the thing anymore. You have to like have somebody. You guys, you don't have to, but like having somebody film you, and it's so hard. Yeah. It's expensive. It's a lot, but comes with the territory.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, it just takes your focus off of the moment, I guess. If you have to worry about filming and doing all that. Like, I don't know, like you want the best quality content, and if you have to focus on all those things, it kind of takes away from being in the moment, I guess, right?
Yeah, 100%. And it's just kind of a thing. It's like I don't know. Like you have to focus on like I'm making content rather than I'm enjoying this, and like content will come out of it.
Right.
Right.
You know?
That's a really good point. So for your podcast, you said when you started like posting to Apple Music and stuff. How long ago was that when you kind of started this form of podcasting and everything?
So my first podcast I think was, 2019.
Okay.
And after that, it was just guest based, so it was kind of like whenever I was able to get somebody. So it wasn't like a consistent thing, and like I always kind of just wanted it to be like a visual podcast. I didn't really care about Apple Music and like Spotify and all that stuff, which I should have, but I just was like, I wanted this to be visual. Like I want people on YouTube to enjoy this. And so like I never really like I got the RSS feeds and all that, and I was putting them out. But there's still like to this day, and I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I haven't. There's certain podcasts that are on YouTube that I just haven't put on Spotify, and people DM me all the time. It's like, hey, I'm about to drive to this place. Like I want this to be on Spotify so I can listen to it. I'm like,
keep your phone open.
Yeah.
Have the YouTube playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I could see that being a lot of work.
Yeah. Because I mean
especially
for
before
us
we
too.
mentioned-
Yeah, for us it's like our kind of perspective on it is like video is like we love it, and we know that'll be like the main thing because people want to see you when you talk. People want to, it brings a whole new like aspect to it, I guess. Just seeing how they interact and how all the cues and stuff you get from it. But I mean, it wasn't like I guess a deal breaker for us. So we were fine with Spotify or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm not sure-
to y'all's stuff. Oh, my bad. I was gonna say I listened to y'all's like podcast the other day. Y'all's audio is really good. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you.
Problem out of nowhere, but it just reminded me. I was like, yeah, y'all's stuff sounded great. Go ahead.
I
sorry.
appreciate that because this isn't even it's I don't know. I forget what the mic is.
Mic. Yeah, this
it's
one's
a
like
decent mic, but we use the Rodecaster Pro, which I think helps out a ton.
yeah, the Rodecaster helps a ton.
Is that what you got?
Yeah, it's sitting here right here on the floor.
Well, and you got the SMB mic though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is from the studio. So like we're having a blizzard outside today, and so I had to like drive in the snow to like because I didn't want to stay at the studio and get stuck. So I had to bring all this equipment here. So that's why I think like the lighting looks weird. Like I know it keeps bothering me how there's a shadow here, but
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, thank you because we want to eventually get better mics, but
Yeah.
it sounds pretty good, I guess, for like what we're working with right now.
yeah, it sounds dope. I was listening to it, and I would have thought y'all were in like a luxury top of the line studio. Like I was like, this is dope.
Oh, really?
Really?
Which one did you hear? Because I'm trying to think how far
Yeah,
back.
yeah, because that could have been.
I don't even have Spotify on my phone anymore. My phone got destroyed to oblivion last night.
Oh.
This is brand new. This is like nothing is on. Like look at my background. See,
Oh, it's
like
the.
It's the stock
Yeah.
photo.
yeah, but I think it was the most. I think it was the most recent one. I want to say it's the most recent
Oh,
one.
okay.
Okay.
Because we just did a podcast with Ashton. He's like the puppy guy. So was it that one or one where we were talking with each other, just us?
It was y'all were talking to each other. What was the? Did y'all have an episode titled like "Rest in Peace" like Kobe Bryant?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So
yeah.
that might have been the one right before that actually.
Okay, then that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, because that was recent. So yeah, we have all the same equipment.
Yeah, because we're always trying to obviously upgrade everything. When we can. I actually have the it's more of a condenser mic. It's the Rode something. I forget the name of it. It's the second one, but it picks up too much, so I couldn't even like use it in this room because there's too many noises, which kind of bugs me because I'm not even like using it right now, and I bought it, but but yeah, luckily this. I mean, we appreciate that because luckily this is sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you were aware of this, but there's also a way to get your video. It's in like beta right now, I think. But we were able to get our video on Spotify too. So I can text you some information on that if you were interested in that.
Yeah, what the hell? I didn't even know. When did Spotify get video?
It's very recent, and you have to get approved. But I believe, do you usually, I guess, do you post to Spotify, or do you post to something else and then kind of share that?
I use like this little distribution thing. I don't know if I want to say that, like Anchor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we use that. So that's Spotify's, right?
Yeah, I think I think they bought them, right?
Okay. Yeah. So so you should. I don't want to like say anything because we did it a while ago, so I don't know how selective they are now. But I'll text you the information because it's actually pretty cool because you can get the video too, like kind of like Joe Rogan's video.
Yeah, because Joe Rogan has it. And
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. I'm definitely gonna be doing that.
Yeah, because that'll be sick too. I know they were having some issues, like sometimes it won't upload, but I think they've been constantly doing updates to where you shouldn't have a problem. Like I don't think we had a problem since that.
Well, for sure. Just let me know. I'm definitely doing that.
For sure, man.
Yeah. So also, well, unless you had something on this topic, Alex.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to ask because you were getting into YouTube. Did you start YouTube already, or is this next trip you're taking going to kind of start the YouTube channel?
No, I have a YouTube channel right now. I think I'm about like 3,500 subscribers. Like nothing crazy.
Oh, that's pretty good though.
Yeah, thank you.
That's hard, especially now.
Yeah.
God, it's a struggle. It's so much easier to get followers on TikTok and stuff, but
yeah,
YouTube. Like if somebody subscribes to you on YouTube, they're committed. Like they
right.
They really like your stuff. But no, I have about probably like 8 to 10 videos on there. Most of them are just like the long form podcast. Other ones are like clips from the podcast and just stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
So are you doing podcasts and vlogs, or are you mostly just gonna like? Was the podcast kind of get the YouTube started, and then you're just gonna do vlogs?
I think I'm really planning on hitting vlogs hard, like as my main thing, and then obviously like if I meet somebody and I really want to like talk to them, I'm like, hey, let's go to my studio real quick and let's record this podcast. And there's some people I have in mind. I've made some good connections, with the TikTok kind of going up, so it's just kind of hard to get them to Dallas.
Everywhere. But see, that's the hard part too, is why we kind of started with this like internet way of podcasting, because one, we don't really have enough space, and two, is like it's hard to constantly get guests on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a struggle of itself. Like I used to DM like probably 50 to 100 people every 2 days. Like it was insane. Like I was just on my phone. My screen time was sickening. Like it was just like I was just all day. But
yeah, do you have any advice for that? Because we're kind of like in the process, because we're just starting this up, of reaching out to people. We're just kind of DMing, and luckily, like we've had a good amount of people get back to us, but it feels like a slow process. Like so much effort.
Yeah, I mean, y'all have a good following on Instagram, so that helps out a lot. But I suggested, where I had my most success with getting guests through DMs, like I got Jake Paul's boxing coach, which
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I got him just through a DM. And it's getting people like early, like if you're on, because it's like it's appetizing whenever you see somebody like, oh, they're blowing up right now, let me go there, but they're getting flooded with DMs right now. If you see someone like on the peak, like right before they're about to like turn the notch of like going up, that's when it like, so right whenever I saw Jake Paul was boxing, and I was like, okay, I know I'm not going to get Jake Paul, who's next, and get his boxing coach. So before that first fight that like everybody was like, oh my God, I was like, let me DM him and be like, hey, after this fight, let's do the podcast. And he was like, okay. And now he's out of there. Like he's doing interviews on like ESPN stuff. So if I were to DM him now, I would never be able to get him. But yeah, I would just get people on like right before their peak, and then that's it.
Yeah,
that's all the advice I can have.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, but thank you, because I've kind of been seeing it that way too. It's like or maybe I haven't found people on the cusp yet, or but like I see people like doing well, and I'm like, wow, this person's gonna blow up. Like I know that. So kind of just add them to the list to DM or whatever. But just like kind of a random side note, because do you do stocks? Because I feel like that kind of that kind of like foresight and like knowing like how this is gonna affect this. Like I feel like you'd kill it in stocks.
That's hilarious. No, I don't. One, because I'm poor. I can't afford stocks.
Fair enough. Yeah, relatable.
And two, I don't know. With stuff with money, I think it involves math. If I think it involves math, I stay away from it. So no, I don't.
So
but I want
funny.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like, do you think that being a creator yourself and kind of knowing the path that you went through to kind of, if some videos blowing up and stuff like that, do you think that helps you kind of have that foresight to see right before people are going to blow up?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I don't think I'm smart enough for that. Like, I just kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of like a internal feeling. If I feel like, or some things are just obvious to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like with the Jake Paul thing. It's like, hey, you're his coach. You're his head coach. You're going to be there through everything. You're going to know the most. And
Yeah.
Right.
you're about to blow up with him because he's going to tag you in pictures. You're going to be
Documentaries. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like that. But like, if I see somebody who's talented on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and like they don't have the most views, I'm not really good at knowing that because algorithms are so weird, and like I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool though. I didn't know. So who else did you like end up getting on your podcast that you like really wanted on?
That's the thing with my, like, most of the people are like I'm either friends with or like I'm actually fans of. So every time I'm doing a podcast with somebody, I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
But Jordan Howlett, or his TikTok is Jordan the Stallion. He's the guy who does those videos where he's like has his phone in the mirror and he's like telling stories. And he actually got me into TikTok. I got him on. Yeah, he's like 5 or 6 million followers on TikTok. And
That's
Is that the guy with like the beard and like the mole or whatever?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know who exactly that. Yeah, he's good too.
He's hilarious. Yeah, and actually he hit me up to be on the podcast. I was like, why? Like, why are you?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
but it
even
was-
more fun.
Yeah, and I only had like 2,000 followers on TikTok at the time. Like, I was like, nobody. Like, I was like, why do you want to be on my podcast? But I'm glad he did it. And then Scottie Pippen Jr. So Scottie
wow.
Pippen's son, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Mark Henry. Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Mark Henry from WWE.
Okay. I thought that's yeah.
Yeah,
That's
God, I forgot about that. But yeah, that was insane. Like, literally, I'm talking to my childhood. Like, I was like, this is
yeah.
unreal.
That is insane. I mean, like, I guess you, I don't know how you all these things happen to you, you know? I don't know how to put it into words, but that's the best way I could say it. It's like, it's just amazing how these like things develop for you.
Yeah. It's insane, but it's like, it's behind the scenes, it's a lot of like struggle, like a lot of shit that doesn't go right. Like, so many failures. Like, it's unreal. People knew. Like, I've taken hundreds of failures and losses and embarrassment to get one big victory, which I'll do a million times over. But
Right.
yeah, it's just kind of, a lot of them are right place, right time, and I'm not expecting anything out of it. I'm just kind of wanting to genuinely build a relationship with somebody. And I think once somebody sees you're like genuine and like you're just a good person, or at least the best person you can be, then they'll want to work with you and do stuff with you. And I think that was the situation with Mark Henry, because whenever I first met him, I was like, dude, this is fucking crazy that I'm talking to you right now. Like, you are, like, this is nuts. And he just like helped me with my career. I was like, hey, I'm about to start a podcast. Is there anything you can help me with? And just out of the kindness of his heart, he's like, yeah, come down to iHeartRadio. I film a show on Sirius XM. You can just sit there and chat with me. And so I just,
That's sick.
Oh,
it was insane.
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, I did. I did see that story too. I think that was one of the ones that like I first saw on like my For You page.
Oh, really?
Was the studio, was that a really cool experience too by itself?
Oh yeah, it was so crazy walking in there, and like there's just a bunch of radio studios and like radio hosts. It was like a dream. Like it looked like heaven. It was just like this room people are recording something, this room people are recording something, and I'm like seeing this like different radio show that my dad listens to, and I'm like, oh, like they do that in there. Like and then it's just kind of like sitting there, and like this was the first time watching like an actual like professional do their job, like of like being a radio host or like doing broadcasting, and so watching how they did it and like how they delivered certain things, and then I don't know, I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff, so like when they cut to commercial and like came back, I was like, whoa, this is insane. Like it was, I don't know, it was the coolest experience ever.
Yeah, because I remember when we were in high school, our senior year, because we played football, and our football team, like a couple people from there, I guess, I don't know how we got into that, but either got invited or we somehow, one of the parents kind of organized us to go to this radio studio, and
it's like the biggest channel for our area.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man, this is gonna be sick. You know, we're in high school. We're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, we're all hyped up. We go there like early in the morning before school. So I mean, that wasn't a problem, you know, especially back then when we didn't need sleep. But yeah, so we watched them and like do that. I can't imagine, like, because even that was cool. I can't imagine like having an idol there, like watching them and being with them doing that too.
It was
like
crazy. It was crazy. And then I don't even know if I want to. Yeah, this is something I don't think I've told anybody. I'll tell y'all whenever.
Exclusive footage here, guys.
The second time I went there, it was Mark Henry's son's birthday, and so like obviously Mark Henry knows a lot of people, a lot of like WWE people, and then he was getting like his son was getting a bunch of happy birthday calls or whatever, and then Mark Henry's like on his phone for a little bit, and he's like, I forgot his son's name, but he's like, hey son, Uncle Dwayne said happy birthday. I was like, are you texting The Rock right now?
Wow.
I was like, are you texting The Rock?
Sick.
Like it's unbelievable. And I was like I don't know, that experience was unreal. And Mark Henry's such a nice dude. Like he's obviously he's very intimidating, and like he's a very scary human if you don't know him. But dude is a teddy bear. Like he's so nice. Like I'm very thankful for everything he's done for me.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
super cool. Did you ever, like, once you noticed that, did you ever go like, hey man, do you think I could get The Rock on?
Yeah. slide that in there yet.
I'm too scared, man. I'm way too scared for stuff like that. I wish I had like the balls
That's
to
hilarious.
do that, but I can't.
That's funny.
That's great, man. Yeah, I would be like, I feel like there's very few, I don't know. I feel like maybe not very few, but I feel like there's like just a select few celebrities that I would like, you know, be like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And I feel like The Rock is one of them.
Oh yeah, because it's like he's not human. Like, how's that person real?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you've accomplished so much. Like, you've done everything, and it's just,
yeah,
a legend. I feel like I would have like out of body experiences when I'm like meeting people like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I actually. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I actually wanted to ask you. You can say what you wanted to say, and then I wanted to ask you too. Is do you? How does it work do people recognize you when you're out and about and stuff? And like, do they bring up your stories and things like that?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so
They like know you.
Yeah, I'm like, how the hell have you seen me before? And it's just like, I was at I'm going to tell this on TikTok too, but I'll say it here first. But I was at my friend's basketball game. He plays in Arkansas. He plays at a school in Arkansas. And I was just chilling, watching the game. And then I went onto the court after the game. My friend's team got beat by 40. Like, it was bad. So it was like a little somber environment on the court. But you know me, I'm here to brighten up the mood. So I'm on the court, like just shooting on the goals, waiting for both teams to get out of the locker room, whatever. We can leave, go eat, do whatever. And the opposing team, who beat my friend's team, comes out of the locker room, and they sit like on the bench, like just kind of watching me shoot around. They're joking on their phones and stuff. And then I keep seeing them like look at me, and I was like, okay, like I don't know if I'm about to get jumped or what's about to happen, because I'm not used to, like, I don't have the thought of like, oh, people know me. So I'm just like, okay,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm about to, what's about to happen. Do I need to be on defense right now? Like, what's going on? And then it's like all of a sudden I'm like, I hear, hey. I'm like, I look, and they like 3 of them turn their phone at me, and it's like my face on there, and they're like, "You're that dude from TikTok," and I was like, "Yeah, I am, I guess, yeah." And they're like, "Sick, man. Can we get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Why?" They're like, yeah, we can. And that was crazy. Like, and then it's happened a couple times. It's every time is surreal to me because I'm like, why do you want to? I'm just a guy.
Yeah. Does it make you like uncomfortable? Because I feel like sometimes like it's happened to us like a few times because like our friends know of it, but like I don't know, I feel kind of a little uncomfortable that they like know that. I don't know. I'm more of a private person, but then I don't realize that I'm putting it out on the internet.
Exactly. It's like it's weird to see that those numbers convert into real humans.
Yeah, for real.
It's just I already do have anxiety. Like I'm an awkward person. So like I don't like to meet new people. I don't like to like talk in big crowds. So whenever people are coming up to me talking to me, it's full panic mode, sweat, all the things.
That's funny. Yeah, we've never gotten like any picture requests. That's awesome that you get that. Like,
yeah, I feel like you're very, I guess like recognizable and stuff. Like I don't know. I feel like just people listening to your stories kind of makes them want that picture. It's more personal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm very grateful. Like it does mean the world to me when people are like, hey, like this, like one guy, the first person that ever came up to me, he was like, hey, I listen to your podcast when I'm at work. Like I'm a janitor and it gets me through my shifts. And I was like,
oh, that's
nice.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So many other things to be listening to. But thank you for listening to me. And that was crazy. And so, yeah, I'm very thankful for everybody who cares enough to like say what's up.
Yeah, that's sweet.
We haven't gotten any like of those from any of our podcasts yet either, but so you're definitely on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've only gotten like little like, wait, do you do like TikTok or so we've gotten mostly that other than like our friends and stuff, of course, or it's like people that know you or like work with you or whatever. It'll be like, oh, I saw your TikTok, and it's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the
like,
people I tell stories about to like Tom from Vegas or like my coaches. I'm waiting for them to hit me and be like, why the hell would you say that about me?
That's another thing I was gonna ask you is like, was it like weird for you like talking about people that you know that might like hear it and just.
I mean, I try to put everybody in a positive light. Like, I'll never go on my platform and like shit on anybody. So they know me. They know me well enough to know like I'm recalling what happened. I'm not lying about anything. This is your fault for putting me through this. So I like at least let me tell the public. But I think everything's been fine. Knock on wood. No one has come up to me and be like, "Is this about me?" So I'm good so far.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
That's definitely good. And I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're like super busy today. Do you have to end this pretty soon, or do you have like 15 more minutes or so?
I'm good. I'm good for however long you need me. There's yesterday it was 70 degrees outside. Today woke up Antarctica blizzard. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a polar bear walking outside. So like everything's shut down. So I'm good.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to be like respectful of your time.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I feel like out of all the people that we've reached out to, even like, I don't know, obviously it's good to have people with like a big following and stuff, but I value more of like, okay, is this conversation going to be awesome and stuff? And, does their content excite me? And you were like one of the main people that we were like most excited to have on too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so awkward at taking compliments.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that because I don't know, when we look for people to have on the podcast, it's not really about like following or anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's somewhat important because you kind of do prove yourself with numbers. But yeah, I kind of think like, okay, what conversation are we gonna have? Are they fun? Are they like super cool? And like I feel like like we would like our like us hanging out would be like a fun time. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I'm like forcing myself to ask you questions and stuff. It's just like a natural conversation.
Exactly. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I did a podcast with somebody that was really just like not too interested, but I cared, but it was more like a
Right.
business thing. And I was in the
Right.
middle of it and I was like, oh, I'm dying. And so I think, that's important. Like people you actually like vibing with. I think that's the most fun. You get the best stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
100%. Yeah.
I do believe that some of it is on the interviewer or podcaster or whatever it may be, but they're like, you know, it is our job to make our guests entertaining, but at the same time, you know, it makes it so much easier when the person is like super cool, funny, energetic, you know, things like that.
Yeah, right. Like you'll have a whole list of like questions that are supposed to last you an hour, but you burn through them like that because like, cool.
Yeah.
And so having somebody that can like talk back and like make the conversation better is definitely a plus.
Yeah. You look at the time, you think it's an hour, it's been like 24 minutes or something. But yeah, not to compliment you too much, but like I realized that like that like, you know, you have a good following on TikTok, but you're still like, I saw that you were still like so much room to grow, and like, you know, you're obviously, your stories are doing well. They're getting on the For You page. They're getting a lot of traction and stuff. So I knew you were gonna kind of play out to be a lot bigger than you even are right now. So that's like kind of adding into what we want, and you know, finding those cool people, and maybe they don't have like say 1 million followers on this particular platform. It's like they're gonna grow too because you can tell, like, you know.
Yeah, that's that's a good point. And I guess our basis of the podcast is like, it's not like, oh, we already had them on, that's done, right? It's not like checking the box. It's like, all right, we had them on at this time, and then now they're killing it on YouTube. Let's have them on again, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where our mindset is at when we're having people on, because this really is brand new. Like you're our second guest on this like new series, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that. This is great. Yeah, y'all are really good at what y'all do, and you know, this is effortless. Y'all set me up to do things and like to be able to talk. So y'all are doing a great job, and y'all definitely, I've said it a couple of times, and y'all have asked good questions, like questions that I haven't been asked before, and it made me think. So y'all caught me off guard. So good job.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Like you, I don't know how to take compliments too well, but yeah, I do kind of find that interesting. Like there is like this concept that I heard. It's like, no matter what, even if you copy someone's video, because it's you, it's going to be different. So I kind of like saw that as like, even if we have the same person as another podcast on, like as a guest, then our interview is going to be completely different, which is exciting too.
Yeah, that's a part of the art of it. That's a part of the art of like broadcasting, like journalism and like interviewing. It's like, that's what will separate you from someone else. Like Sean Evans, he's where he's at because he has amazing questions and like leads into questions perfectly. And Nardwar, like that's why they're
Nardwar.
Yeah, they're amazing at what they do. And so you can have somebody who's on a press run has done 100 different interviews that day, but if how is yours going to step out, you know?
Right. Because Sean Evans, he's the one on Hot Ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's really good.
Because he always gets the compliment. Like, these are, like, super impressive, like, amazing questions. Like, and you can tell he puts a lot of time into it.
A ton of time. Like, I'm like...
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I interviewed somebody from Complex named Pierce Simpson. He's, like, the senior editorial person over there. He's, like, one of my broadcasting, like, idols. And he obviously knows Sean Evans. He was like, the amount of work Sean puts in is insane. And so, like... It shows through his work, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say that about Joe Rogan too. Like he plays it kind of like he tries to play it off as like he's not that smart and stuff like that. But I think he's like secretly a genius.
Yeah, I think you have to be a certain level to garner that much success. You have to be doing something a little extra.
And that it's like when I first like started watching this podcast, I guess when they first got big, I was like, so you have to like. I guess to be the ideal, like, I don't know, interviewer or whatever you want to call it. But you have to be, like, dumb enough to not know enough to ask, like, enough questions and, let them talk. but you have to be like smart enough to know what to ask and like, to grasp certain things and to explain things.
Exactly. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Was that a siren again?
Another person.
What is happening outside my apartment right now?
They're circling you, man.
You better have just a camera set up outside that like window or whatever.
No, definitely like a helicopter's about to like just kind of go towards my window. It's bad.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the spotlight on you and everything.
Yeah, it's like,
Sorry, guys.
Man, yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I find the whole process so interesting because this is like we're kind of forced now because we have to go and reach out, and it's like when you have to work really hard for it, you learn so much. Mm-hmm. And I guess do you have any other advice when it comes to podcasting or like things like, just any like little things or big things that you've noticed?
Yeah, as far as like interviewing goes, it's very important, especially the bigger guests who get on, is to ask different questions. And I think that maybe that's obvious, but you got to realize these people, like these big celebrities or influencers, whatever, they're getting asked the same thing over and over and over again, and they obviously get tired of it, and they're not going to want to come back because they're like, oh, this is just a part of my press junket, this is part of my press tour.
Right.
But what I like to do is I watch everything that person has done, like every interview, every podcast, any like articles that written about them, everything. And then whenever I'm watching, say they do a podcast with somebody else, and I'm watching how they're reacting to certain questions. So if there's a question that they might have like perked up at and like they gave a little more effort, and that interviewer didn't like really tap into that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find that and like go deep into that because they're enjoying talking about that. So just really learning that person, being like, oh, like with Pierce Simpson, he had a job at a shoe store that no one really knew about, and he was like something at a law firm before he was at Complex. And I was just like, hey, what the heck is going on with this? Like, where's the correlation from a shoe store to a law firm? And he just like loved it, and he was like, bro, like,
wow,
I haven't even thought about this. And so just like just trying to be different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good take on that. Cause I never really thought about it like that. Just knowing, like seeing that of where that person like wanted to talk about it, but then they moved on to the next thing, which I'm sure it happens in every interview podcast thing, but that's really interesting. That's a really good point.
Yeah, that's a different way of explaining it. Because, like, the way I would, I guess, stumble upon, like, asking something like that by accident is, like, okay, so I've gathered this information from watching their stuff. It's like, what information did I not get out of it? Or, like, what did I feel like I needed to know or wanted to know?
Yeah, definitely. It's just studying. It's, like, really just, it's finding the things that slip through the cracks.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And what do you think about with like likes, views, like what's your take on everything? I know we kind of touched on that a little bit, but do you think that's like kind of harmful to like some creators and stuff like that, or?
Yes, I think it can be. I think if you're not 100% right with yourself and like mentally, and you put all your worth on your likes and stuff, which is easy to do, it's very easy to fall into that, then it can be very dangerous. Like I was at a place where there's a bunch of influencers, and there's one guy who was just like, somebody was like, oh, you're the so-and-so, and he's like, why do you, like, he was very upset, like he was like, why do you care, like I'm irrelevant now. Like I'm like, oh bro, like you're good, like just
yeah.
But yeah, I think it can be very harmful. I think you have to make sure you're 100% right mentally and emotionally before you, put this stuff out to the world, because all that false validation can feed your ego so fast. But you got to realize like that can be gone tomorrow. Right. So you got to just, if you have a love for the craft and actually what you're doing and not the response, then you'll be all right.
Yeah, because I do hate how it does have. I mean, they arrange these apps for that reason, around the way we react to things and stuff like that, which is very hard to be able to control or combat.
Because it's addicting. Like, you know, like if you post a video or a picture, sometimes you'll just go back and like keep looking at it, keep reloading it or something, you know?
Yeah.
So
I definitely got caught in that whenever I first started getting my, you know, really good TikTok like success. I was like, oh God. And it was everything. Like I was just like looking at, I was refreshing all the time. And I was like, oh, 99 plus, 99 plus, 99 plus. And then I got out of it. I think it was a wake up call. Like, I'm glad this happened. TikTok like took down one of my videos and they're like, if this happens again, we can take your whole account down. And I was like, it's just like a wake up call. Now I'm just like, hey, I'm just happy to be here. I don't care what this gets. Like, I'm not like whatever. So I definitely, it's very easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah. And that is scary though, that they can just kind of cut that off that easily. And it doesn't even have to be your fault. It could just be someone just like angry for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. The video wasn't bad at all. It was me talking about two teammates got into it on the sideline of like an NFL game. And one of them swung at the other one, not even real contact. But I put the clip in, and they're like, "You're promoting violence and all
my gosh!"
But I love you, TikTok. Please don't take that.
I don't think
we won't clip that part.
Yeah, we'll take that part out. But yeah, no, because I mean that's kind of why we also like diversified into Instagram, and we want to go out to these other ones because it's like if you have all your eggs in one basket, and they just decide to flip that switch. You know, I mean, you see it time and time again. Luckily, you know, knock on wood that, you know, I don't even want to say it, but that like we haven't. But yeah, I mean, just it's scary how they can do that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that's the platform, that's the game you're playing.
Yep. Yeah, that's why it's very important to diversify and keep growing. Because if you put everything in, like you said, all your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. Then what happens if it's over? Then you're over.
Yeah,
you gotta move to different platforms, do as much as you can in the space,
and basically restart because you don't have anyone to like funnel or transfer over there. Like you don't have that anymore.
Yeah, you can't shout it out after the fact, you know.
Yeah, that. Oh God, like I've had nightmares about this.
It's scary. And then I don't know. I've asked myself. I don't know. I just kind of play scenarios through my head. I think it's part of the overthinking, you know, of like, okay, would I start again? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we learn the skills. It's kind of like if you took money from millionaires and just kind of evenly distribute it, they'd become millionaires again because they know they built that skill and they really understand that space, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's really been interesting. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about while you're on here?
No, I mean, y'all killed it. Y'all talked about pretty much everything. If y'all are ever in Dallas, like you two guys, y'all are ever in Dallas, I don't know where y'all are located now, but if y'all
we're in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida. Oh, damn. That's sick. I want to, the weather's nice out there.
Likewise, you know,
man.
if you're ever here, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. We can definitely shoot something. I got this studio, and if y'all ever want to, like, if y'all in Dallas and y'all have a guest out here, y'all can use the studio for free or whatever. Y'all don't have to pay for the hour.
Oh, that would be sweet.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and if I'm in Florida, I'll hit you guys up. I love Florida. I need to go down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Visit, especially because I feel like a lot of people are, like, going to Miami, too. So, you know, so definitely.
Some good stories out there in Florida. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah, we get a bad rap.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. You get a little bit of everything here.
Alligator, we don't have that many alligators, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We do. They're not out walking the streets, you know.
Okay.
But the bear, like, there might be bears in certain areas, but other than that,
no chance. If there's a bear area, keep me away from that. Do y'all have ostriches?
I haven't seen one.
We have geese.
Yeah, I haven't seen one.
Maybe not ostriches.
Any fowl, any swan, anything. I don't want to see it. I'm terrified of things with wings.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we have our fair share of like hawks and owls, but that'll be kind of random. You know, you're more concerned with getting like pooped on by a bird than attacked.
Hey, until it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but you know.
That's true. But yeah, thanks again for coming on here. We really appreciate it. Like we said, you know, we were really excited to have you on here. We went for like an hour and 34 minutes or 35 minutes. So, you know, it flew by. It didn't even feel like I just wanted to keep going. but at some point you kind of have to end it. But but we'd love to have you on again sometime in the future. And yeah, if you want to come to Florida or if we want to go to Texas, I'm sure we'll hit each other up.
Yeah,
for sure, man. Thank y'all for having me. This was amazing. This was really fun. Like, I actually did have a good time. And so, yeah, we definitely need to do it again. And y'all can come on my show. We can film some TikToks together. We'll figure something out.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
And, yeah, don't forget to stay on a little bit after. And then just to re-shout out your stuff, guys, Peyton Hardin and Alex, I'm going to let you say the podcast name because I screwed that up.
You should know, right? You should know podcast.
There you go.
Boom. I want to say you should know it, but it's you should know. You should know podcast.
There you go. You should know podcast. And if you're anybody listening that's in Dallas, you should know studios. Come stop by.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone go. I'm sure he has all the best equipment there and everything. So
yeah,
everyone go check him out on there. But yeah, thanks again, Peyton Hardin, everybody. And we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.